Hey, what's going on, guys? OJ back here with another video today. We're going to be talking about the UFC divisions and ranking them based on excitement. All right. Keep in mind, this is my opinion, so you can't technically tell me I'm wrong. But if you want to tell me that you disagree, then I'm more than happy to chat with you because you can just type your opinions down in the comments down below. So I'm going to list my ratings for every single division, starting from flyweight all the way up to heavyweight. I already made a video about the women's divisions a long time ago, so I'm not really going to include them. But if you want to see an updated version of that list, feel free to let me know in the comments down below so I can make a separate video for them. But without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the video. All right, first off, flyweight division. I give it a 8 out of 10. All right. I'm not too strongly attached to Pantoja. And not to say Pantoja's a bad champion. I just don't feel strongly about him one way or the other. Like, yes, he is a great champion, top four pound for pound, a dominant champion at that who's fought many contenders. But for some reason, I haven't been captivated by some of his performances. So it's one of the rare instances where I'm not supporting a long time reigning champion. So I don't know, it just feels weird. But I'll say this about the flyweight division: the contenders are absolute killers. We got Joshua Van, Tatsuro Taira, and even guys who's already lost to Pantoja, like they're still in the title mix, like Brandon Royval, Brandon Moreno. We got absolute studs that are like trying to fight for the title right now. And that's great to see. And even the unranked prospects, I can name a bunch of killers in the division right now, like Loner Kavanaugh, Jose Ochoa, Andre Lima. The flyweight division also has decent activity because Pantoja's fighting every couple of months. So that is actually one thing I can really appreciate from Pantoja because most champions don't really fight once every 5 to 6 months. Apparently now that's too much to ask for. But yeah, overall, I'm gonna give flyweight division an 8 out of 10. Very solid division. And if every other division were to be like flyweight, I wouldn't mind it whatsoever. Now, up next, we're going to go with the bantamweight division. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 because Marab is just so dominant, right? I don't have anything against Marab. It's just the fact that nobody can beat him. Like, you can say Umar Nurmagomedov, but does Umar Nurmagomedov even get back to a title shot? All right. He'll beat Bautista. Does he confidently beat a Peter Yan? I'm just saying. And outside the top five, I'm gonna say this: the bantamweight division is so overrated. Like I'm genuinely questioning how some of these fighters even made it to the rankings in the first place. Like Cheeto Vera, Eamon Zahabi, hell, even sometimes even Montel Jackson. Which I get Montel Jackson is really good, but then he also has a lot of iffy performances against like low rated competition. And also the upcoming contenders or like prospects that have yet to be proven. It's gonna be a while before they fight anybody in the rankings. Like I don't see Elijah Smith, Beksat Almakhan, Malcolm Wellmaker making waves in the bantamweight rankings anytime soon. I'd say they're gonna have to fight for like another 2 years because one, it's kind of hard to get into the rankings, and two, most of these guys haven't fought that many fights. I think each of them have like 2 fights minus Bex at Almacon. I'm not really too sure, but either way, I know for a fact that they don't have that many fights on their belt right now. So it's gonna take a while for them to really build up a resume to get into the bantamweight rankings. So right now, I'm gonna say that bantamweight division is hella overrated, and it's a lot more mid than people actually think. All right, now up next, we're gonna go with the featherweight division. I give it a 7 out of 10. One thing to note: the title picture for the featherweight division is really interesting right now. You have Leroy Murphy, you have Alexander Volkanovski, you have Movsar Evloev, you have Aljamain Sterling trying to go back for the title. You have even Arnold Allen if he actually fights, right? There's also a lot of interesting contenders on the come up, like Gene Silva, Diego Lopez, again Aljamain Sterling, Arnold Allen. Like these guys, There are killers. And there's even killers on the come up, like Shepe Mariscal, Steve Garcia, Jose Delgado. Like, I kind of rate the unranked section of the featherweight division. Like, even Duo Choi. Like, there are some good talent in the featherweight division in the unranked sections. My main problems with the featherweight division, however, is the lack of movement within the top five. Like, how is Yair Rodriguez still in the top five in 2025? And also, how was Brian Ortega still in the top five before he fought Aljamain Sterling? Like these guys, were the top five contenders of 2020, right? And since then, they've just been fighting each other and have been losing nearly every single fight when they haven't fought each other. So it's kind of disgraceful that they're still in the top five at this point. And I don't really rate some of these old generation contenders. So I'm gonna say that it's time we get rid of them out of the top five at least. And also, Mobzar Grumloev is here. All right, that's an automatic point deduction because yeah, real ones know that I don't really like Mobzar Evloev. Like, I kind of came around with him when it comes to his like performances. Like, he's not as boring as I thought initially, but yeah, I do not really want to see Mobzar Evloev get a title shot anytime soon, and I don't want to see his fans in any of my comment sections, whether it be YouTube or Instagram, vying for a Mob Zeravoyev title shot. So overall, I'm gonna say that the featherweight division pretty solid, but my main problems again, lack of movement within the top five, and also Mob Zeravoyev's in the division. All right, now up next we got the lightweight division. Also a 7 out of 10 in my opinion. All right. Now, the lightweight division has the deepest talent pool in the UFC, and most lightweight fights are bangers. Like 8 out of 10 times you're getting a certified banger because even the unranked sections of the lightweight division are so fun to watch. Like you have Ignacio Bahamondes, you have Manuel Torres, Esteban Ribovic, Mateusz Rebecki, Chris Duncan, um, who else? Fares Siam. Like these guys are incredibly talented and they're fun to watch. Right. My main problems with the lightweight division, however, is it feels like there's a big ass log jamming up the division within the top five. Right. Like how is Justin Gaethje still in the top five in 2025? Right. And I know he beat Fiziev, and Fiziev is like decent, but that's my other problem with the division. It's like it's just hard for prospects to get ranked. Like Rafael Fiziev, after losing to Justin Gaethje the second time, had to fight Ignacio Bahamondes, and Rafael Fiziev just kind of pieced up Ignacio Bahamondes for 3 rounds. And I kind of do respect how hard it is to get ranked in the lightweight division, but at the same time, like a lot of the guys that are fraud checking the prospects, I'm like, I don't really care because I just saw you lose your last fight like 3 months ago, and no one's really gonna be talking about a title shot for you, like even if you win this fight. So I don't really know uh, how these unranked prospects are getting into the rankings, and that is kind of a problem because you're just kind of getting the same faces over and over again. Which, all right, to be fair, some of these guys are fun to watch, but then again, like it's time we get some movement in the division. And it can also honestly start with Armin Sarukian fighting somebody, but unfortunately he's not going to. And I don't think any of the other top five contenders are really looking for fights against like, upcoming prospects. So lightweight division, it is great division. It's just that there's a severe lack of activity, especially within the top five, and we need new prospects to get into the division somehow. Now, moving on, we got the welterweight division. This by far is the best division in the UFC, in my opinion, because it's the most interesting division right now. All right. In terms of the title picture, you have JDM as a champion. You have Islam Makhachev, the number one pound for pound fighter on the planet. You have Shavkat Rakhmonov. You have Carlos Prates. You have Sean Brady. You have absolute killers that are trying to fight for the belt next. The only problem I have with the welterweight division is the fact that Ian Gary is still here and he is still relevant in the title picture. Like I thought that Ian Gary lost to Shavkat Rakhmonov, but it doesn't feel like it because he's still just as arrogant. He is still an absolute prick. He beat Carlos Prates, which I'm so sad about. And also, Ian Gary, I don't like him. I think that's pretty obvious just from what I said. But again, I've been saying this for quite some time. So this shouldn't come as a surprise to any of you. I despise Ian Gary, and just for Ian Gary being in the welterweight division automatically deducts a point from me because fuck Ian Gary. But other than that, the division's absolutely awesome. All right, now moving on, we got the middleweight division. The one thing I really like about the middleweight division is the changing of the guard. And there's a lot of varying MMA styles among its contenders, so it always feels like a fresh fight when two people fight because you get a bunch of everything. Like you can have Nasruddin Mavov, who's like a primary striker who can mix in takedowns in his back pocket. You have Rainer de Ritter, a goofy striker who can ragdoll you if he takes the fight to the ground. But I don't know. The only question I have about the middleweight division is the championship activity. Because Dricus Duplessis being the champion was one of the best times of my life. But now that's gone, and we have Hamza Chimaev. Like, I don't know if Hamza Chimaev's really gonna be all that active, alright? Now, I'm not expecting him to, like, make a quick turnaround for Abu Dhabi, like, I never really expected that to be realistic in the first place. But can he make a turnaround by March? If he can, I'll take back everything I said, I'll instantly bump this up to an 8 out of 10, but it's a very big question as to whether or not Hamza Chimaev can even fight by March, right? Hamza Chimaev isn't exactly known as an active contender of sorts. So as a champion, I'm not really expecting all that big of an activity jump from Hamza Chimaev all of a sudden. But the middleweight division again, very fun to watch. You get a bunch of everything, a lot of fun grapplers, a lot of fun strikers, and overall, the title picture it's not bad. It's just that Hamza Chimaev just looks so dominant right now that we have no confidence, but there's a lot of killers in the middleweight division that are vying for the next title shot. So overall, I do like the middleweight division. I just wish that Hamza Chimaev were more active. Now, moving on to the light heavyweight division, we got Magomed Ankalaev as the champion. Now, I don't really mind Magomed Ankalaev as the champion. However, he can be put in a lot of uneventful fights because a lot of fighters in the light heavyweight division fight him as if they're shit scared of him. And as a counter striker like Magomed Ankalaev, he's not really the best putting forward pressure and trying to knock someone out. So it does leave a lot of uneventful fights where it looks like Magomed Ankalaev's just doing enough to win the fight. But I have no issue with Magomed Ankalaev because even though he's like a common denominator in a lot of the boring fights. I don't blame Magomed Ankalaev for most of those fights. Weirdly enough, which is kind of like going against a lot of what I usually say. But anyways, outside of that, the unranked fighters, they're complete dog shit. There are zero hyped up prospects. They mostly all of them got fraud checked by now. There's a lot of uneventful fights, even within the rankings. To be honest, like outside of the title fights and the title elimination bouts, I don't give a shit about the light heavyweight division because most of these guys are complete retards and they don't know how to fight effectively. So I have no interest in watching light heavyweight fights outside of the fights that actually matter. Now, last but not least, we got the heavyweight division. Now, think about everything bad I said about the light heavyweight division, but add the fact that most of the fighters in this division are complete sacks of blobs. Like, and also in terms of skill, this is by far the worst division. Like, I feel skill wise, I am better at striking and grappling than heavyweights on the roster that are not within the top 10. Like, that is a big problem here because I train at best 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm not really training to be a fighter of sorts. So it's very concerning that a lot of heavyweights are just this bad. But then again, I don't really expect much from them in the first place. It's just very concerning, in my opinion, that like we haven't found that many skilled heavyweights. And I'm be real, nobody even comes close to Aspinall in terms of skill right now, right? We had the question about John Jones because John Jones, like he is a former light heavyweight who moved up to heavyweight, and even though John Jones wasn't in his prime, like people were asking, like, oh, he can be able to outlast Tom Aspinall in the later rounds and use a lot of crafty tricks from the light heavyweight division into his fight with Tom Aspinall. But yeah, John Jones retired and there's literally no one else for Tom Aspinall to fight. So it's very sad right now. And overall, I think heavyweight division is by far the worst division in the UFC right now. All right, that's going to be it for today's video. Leave a comment down below whether or not you generally agree with my takes on every single division and also how you would rate each one of these divisions. But in real talk though, I'm making more of these videos because I don't know, I don't want to keep working at my dead end job. So, please make sure to like and subscribe so I can hopefully get this channel monetized soon and I don't have to work at my dead end job. But yeah, other than that though, uh, just leave a comment down below what you guys think. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.